Hey guys, Pastor Bud here. Today we are continuing our journey through the Better Covenant Bible study, looking at the Noahic covenant, or God's covenant he made with Noah. Before we get into that, though, we have a few things that we must review. The first is that a covenant is not a contract. See, a contract is about the exchange of things, of items, of property. A covenant is about the exchange of life and relationship. And of those types of covenants we see at work in the biblical narrative in the ancient Near East, of first importance is the grant covenant. A grant covenant is a covenant in which a greater party, a suzerain, bestows or grants a covenant upon a lesser party known as a vassal. And with that covenant, that bestowal, that grant, comes the granting of blessing, of land, and of dynasty. What we see happening in Eden is that God creates this place where heaven and earth perfectly overlap. And God crowns his creation with mankind, with humanity, with Adam and Eve, created in the image and likeness of God. They were to be faithful to that identity. And then God gives them all of the land. He tells them to be fruitful, to cultivate all the plants in the garden, to exercise authority and dominion over all the cosmos. And then he gives them freedom. Freedom to fill the earth with their dynasty, with their children. Freedom to move to and fro, to eat of every fruit in the garden, except one. And in one horrific moment, Adam and Eve, humanity, heeded the voice of a stranger, forsook God, traded their faithfulness, their fruitfulness, and their freedom for failure, for fruitlessness, for bondage. But God did not give up on humanity. God did not give up on mankind. God did not give up on Adam and Eve. And God prophesied this new good news, this coming day when the son of Eve would bruise his heel as he crushed the serpent's head under his foot. And we see that good news in our next piece of this journey when we look at Noah's covenant. See, God looked down upon the earth. He looked down upon the world, and he saw wickedness everywhere. He was grieved that he had created humanity. God was heartbroken. But God looked at Noah and saw a righteous man that God could grant covenant and blessing to. And so God makes a royal grant covenant with Noah, with Noah's descendants and all living things, with all of creation. Seals it with a rainbow that says, I will never again strike every living thing. I will never again allow Earth's cycles to cease, the seasons to stop. Now, humanity is again blessed to replenish the earth, to fill the earth, and to eat of all of the food, eat anything that moved, with one restriction. Don't eat meat with the blood in it, because blood is life. Goes on with one restriction. Whoever sheds man's blood will himself die. Since although God's likeness was out of reach, we had traded it in. We had laid it down for a grueling mortality. We still bear his priceless image. You and I, all of humanity, are still God's image bearers. And that is good news. And that is the royal grant covenant God made with Noah. And every time you see a rainbow in the sky, you could be reminded that you are free to eat of anything save one thing. Hey guys, I love you. I hope this is helping you to see Jesus more clearly, to know God more truly, to love God more deeply. I can't wait till the next time. God bless.